Welcome to our new webinar. We are talking today about UDI compliance worldwide. We will dive into successful implementations and show how to handle the data for UDI, how to transmit the data to the governments, and how to print and produce labels for UDI products. Before we start the webinar, let me talk a bit about housekeeping. So if there is any question, just write into the Q&A chat and ask your question. We will answer that soon. As well, we will do certain surveys during the webinar, so please answer honestly, hopefully. It's always a pleasure to see what you will answer. So let's jump into the webinar and talk about what you can expect in this webinar. First of all, as always, we will talk about who we are. We will talk about OPAL and Europe IT Consulting Company. What are we doing? Why do we perform this webinar for you? As well, Europe IT Consulting, we talk about the timelines and the regulations applied, and we talk about when they will apply, so you'll get an updated timeline. As well, we will offer you the opportunity to get a chance to see what the UDI add-on from Europe IT will offer. As well, we will dive into the possibilities of a label management system based on SAP. What can that provide to you? Which benefits we will solve? And as well, we not do that just showing slides and talking a lot. We will show that in a live demonstration in SAP, from the data management to the printing of a UDI label. And last but not least, we will also show you how to implement such a project and give you some starting points for that. Let me introduce myself. I'm Ronnie Sieber. My function at OPAL is Head of Professional Services. So my team is the consulting team, which implements label management projects. And as well, I'm the owner of the product management. I have 20 years experience in labeling and mobile solutions at OPAL. And I'm pretty sure I can give you some insights today and hope you will enjoy. And let me introduce Ismail. Please, Ismail, say something about your person, and let's start with the UDI webinar.
Thank you, Ronnie. Good day, everyone. I'm 𝗶𝗶𝗶𝗃, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this webinar today. As the founder of Europe IT Consulting in the vibrant city of Basel, I've decided over 13 years ago to specializing in the unique device identification. My role involves not only consultancy, but also driving the development of UDI software solutions. Today, I'm excited to share with you the insights and the experiences I've gained in this evolving field. In today's session, we will explore the diverse challenges facing medtech companies. These includes the intricate regulatory requirement that vary globally, the critical aspect of UDI labeling for compliance, and the necessity of ensuring complete traceability of medical products. Furthermore, we'll delve into the importance of maintaining high data quality and the complexities involving in the UDI data management. These are key areas that significantly impact the success of compliance of medtech companies in the current landscape. On this slide, we are showcasing the collaborative synergy between Europe IT and OPAL. The reason of our joint venture is to combine both parts of UDI, data management and labeling together. Europe IT brings to the table deep expertise in the UDI data management and MDR, owned through years of focused practice and innovative solution development, such as SAP add-on and UDI Access solutions. On the other side, OPAL complements this with their deep experience in labeling. Together, Our alliance bridges the gap between UDI data handling and the precision of labeling, ensuring that our clients receive a comprehensive, efficient solution. Let me tell a bit about 𝘄𝗶 Consulting. We are a Swiss company founded in 2011. We are focusing on UDI solutions and consultancy services. Furthermore, we are offering UDI data submission services to our customers. So here a brief overview about our services and products. On the left side you can see the SAP development part or software development part. It's not only SAP. And then in the green section you see our UDI consultancy services. These contains of course FDA, Euromed, and next time of course there will come some more countries like Saudi Arabia or Australia or Canada. The result of course is that we have a solution here, having and providing UDI add-on solutions. And on the right side of course we are also dealing with SAP consultancy services. Okay, Ronnie, if you want, you can introduce your company now.
Thank you, Ismail. Let me introduce OPAL as a company to you. We are a classic 𝗿𝗲𝗽𝗲𝗍 system integrator. We are as well application development partner of SAP. We are certified according to ISO 9001 and acting as an international company. We are located in 4 different countries in the German-speaking European Union. We have more than 18 different locations because we need to be as close as possible to our customer base for having or for providing maintenance services. We were founded 25 years ago, more or less. At the moment, we are 130 employees and our turnover is more or less 55 million at the moment. Our competences are going from the mobile to the labeling area. We are a hardware reseller and providing all the different common manufacturers for mobile devices, printers, and as well scanners and RFID components. We consult our customers, we support them in evaluation the right hardware to use for the different applications. In the mobile area, we also offer professional wireless LAN surveys to ensure that the roaming is working between the different cells in your logistic area or production area. And as well, we offer a bunch of software components based on 𝗿𝗲𝗽𝗲𝗍 infrastructure, so mobile solutions for picking, for goods received and other stuffs, and as well labeling solutions. And today we will talk about the labeling solution, and we offer there an SAP add-on called Label Management. As well, in the printing area, we offer a lot of services around the printer, so maintenance services, repair services, and we also offer managed service for mobile device management, as well for printer management. And last but not least, we are producing our own consumables in Switzerland. We do have there a great experience in evaluation of the right consumable material based on our applications. So that's more or less what we provide as an OPAL. And yeah, let's jump into one of our highlights from my personal view, the timelines. So Ismail will show you soon all the timelines which are updated in regards of MDR. And yes, Ismail, I would say jump into that topic.
Yes, timelines are very interesting regarding Euromed. As you see here, it's postponed again. So let me just explain the green and the red colors or dates. The red color dates are at the moment still the official dates. The green dates, these are a proposal and the plan of Euromed, how they will proceed. It's still not official, but you can, I guess you can take it as official. The development or finishing at the minimum viable product for the 5 modules is on the left side. The deadline is for Q2 2024. They plan it to get audited in 2025 through MDCG, the Medical Device Coordination Group. And when the modules are in place in Q2 2027, from this date, it starts the 24 months of transition period for all the 6 modules. And that means in Q4 2029, you have to enter, or you should already enter your UDI data into UNIMED. So, coming to the labeling regulation, here it is like it was defined at the beginning. There's no change. So, class 3 implants, the labeling should already in place 2 years ago. And for the class 2A and 2B, the labeling has to be set up correctly already this year. And for class 1, it will be in 2 years, 2025, and in 2027 for class 1, the direct part marking should be also be done. So the let's say dark green labels on the top, you see this is regarding direct part marking. So means direct part marking is always a little bit later from the deadlines as the labeling itself below. Let's go on with the SAP add-ons, how these solutions are working. We are started implementing the FDA UDI add-on first, and afterwards the UNIMED SAP add-on. These add-ons are supporting customers for data management and entering all the UDI attributes into SAP. And now we're starting to bring these solutions together and have now a global UDI data management solutions, which will also serve for other UDI authorities like Canada, Australia, Saudi Arabia, and so on. If you have entered your UDI data, this application can submit the data over using our AS2 or AS4 server system, and the data will be converted here and will submit it to the authorities. It could be UNIMED or the Good IT database. These authorities are working already. For the customers which are not using SAP, we have also a very simple solution which is based on Excel. We have Excel templates for the different authorities, and the customers can enter their data into the Excel spreadsheet. We'll send it us to using email. Someone will pick up in the support email address and will upload it to our AS2 server, and here it will be validated and submitted to the authorities. Our Excel migration and submission templates are not only designed for bringing customers without SAP or submitting without SAP the data to the authorities. It is also designed for the initial data migration for customers which are using our SAP add-ons. They can enter the data here and can upload thousands of articles at once into our SAP add-on. How the process is working in our add-on. On the global UDI solution, we have 4 phases. The first phase is to decide if the material or the product is UDI relevant for which countries. After you have signed your product, in which country it is UDI relevant, you're jumping over to phase 2. In the phase 2, you're starting with the data maintenance. Of course, the labeling adjustment has to take place also with our partner OPAL, and the creation of the technical documentation, that is usually an internal job. After you have maintained your data, we are jumping over to phase 3. Here we will do the validation. If the data are okay and validated, you can go to UDI data release. Otherwise, you will just correct your data and come back to the phase 3 and validate again. After you have released your data, everything is okay. In the phase 4, the UDI data submission starts. This can be automatically in the background, or if you want, you can set it up as that you have to trigger it actively to submit the data. Okay, thank you. I will hand over now to Ronnie.
Thank you, Ismail, for this pretty nice overview about your add-on. And let's go into the label management area. So before we jump into the architecture and the different possibilities, I want to point out what are the most common requirements from our customer base. If I talk with our customers and other interesting parties, they always mention that if they use SAP as their ERP system, they want to have a centralized management of their data and processes in SAP. So it would make sense to have the label management system based on SAP. And as many of you, they have their labeling solution, but they are no more happy, or they are in a heterogeneous situation, and they want to harmonize and standardize their processes, and even also the labeling systems and the processes of labeling. And for sure, they want reduce the effort of development during that project. And it should be a system which can adapt to the different organization of our customers. So they have maybe different plants around the world. They want to have individual processes, each region potentially. So this really demands on the business of our customers, and the system should be adapted to that. And one of the major requirements we got from all of their customers in a regulated industry, such medical devices, pharmaceuticals, chemical industry, and so on, is traceability, traceability, traceability. They want to see everything what happens in the system. They want to see the changes. They want to have approval workflows to see who has released it. They want to have an audit trail to be compliant, and so on. So traceability is one major requirement for a lot of them. And as well, our customers don't want to have a pure designer. They want to have a professional designer with huge capabilities for label design, and that's what we try to offer. And for sure, the system should not be dependent on different hardware vendors, and it's only possible to print with Zebra printers, for example. So it should be a hardware independent solution, and as well, based on their product scope, they want to label, and as well also the customers in the different markets they want, they deliver or they offer their products, they need to have rule-based printing to say, I have customer or country-specific labeling, have product-specific labeling. All that rules needs to be applied somewhere. And last but not least, a system should be high available in printing because it's a business critical process in the most of our customers' surveys. If we look to the label management system, what we provide is an add-on to SAP. This add-on has mainly 2-3 major functions which it brings to you. It controls the print process and offers a process to the operators for printing labels. It allows you to manage your label data, to implement business rules, to decide what to print, when to print, how to print. And as well, it offers you an opportunity to choose one of our 4 supported designers. I will come to that point later on again. The Content Manager is another module which works integrated with the label management and helps customers in regulated industries to create multiple different versions of their label for a certain product, for example. So you can control the life cycle of your labels, you have version control, you have approval workflows, and so on to ensure that you print only approved label data to your products. Around the system, we offer different opportunities to print the label. For example, the WebPrint client is a web printing solution for suppliers, subcontractors, but you can also even use that internally, and it offers you a web-based solution for printing the labels. As well, we offer a smart printer client, how we call it. It's a solution which runs on a physical printer, so you can do all your entries on the printer's display using a keyboard or a barcode scanner, and you don't need any desktop PC or mobile. You just can go to the printer, enter your order number, and you get the label. And for other purpose like inline printing, offline printing in production or packaging areas where you have maybe, or you don't want to have any connection to SAP during printing, we offer our line print agent, which helps you out there. The whole solution is certified by SAP, and you can run it on an ECC system as well on the latest S/4HANA release. Talking about the label designer, we decided to support the most common designer on the market. From the left to the right, Bartender, located in US, nice label bought by 𝗲𝗲𝗃𝗲𝗃 a few months ago. Tacklings, which is a French product, and as well we support the Adobe Lifecycle, which is built in within SAP. So customer can decide what is their favorite designer to use. You can also combine them, and at least those three on the left-hand side are really professional, powerful label designer with a lot of capabilities. And this designer will allow you to create almost every kind of labels. Okay, so far so good. Let's jump into what you will or what you can expect from our demonstration in a few minutes. We will show you the whole procedure from data management for UDI, data transfer in UDI, demonstrated by Ismail, and then we will go into the label design. We show you how you can preview a label, how you can simulate changes, how you can create new label versions, and we will also release and approve a certain label. And last but not least, we will print the final label with approved and released data. Before we start our demonstration, I want to give you a short introduction to our test data. We decided to go to an example for sterile gloves. Our product label is using multiple data sources, as you can see. So I have colorized them in this slide. So we see all the data coming from the UDI add-on from Europe IT. You see data which are coming from the batch or out of the production order. You can see data which are coming from the material master or PLM system, and also the sub-classification, which is quite common to add additional product data there and can easily be used in the label management as well. And for sure, there are also label management data which will be stored in our add-on, for example, the version of the label and stuff like that. So that's our product. We will try to print the label today. And yeah, let's say the demo starting. And I would say the start of the demonstration is on the UDI data management. So Ismail, it's your piece. Let's start.
So I'm already logged in SAP. We have here in the customizing settings the UDI add-on for the UDIMIT database. We are splitted up the section into three parts. One part is the code list, second part program settings, and the third part are the UDI transaction codes. So in the first part, we have here the configuration or the drop-down list. In the second part, you have the possibility to change some general settings in your system. And here in the UDI transaction codes, you can do your daily business maintaining your UDI data. I will enter here the UDI maintenance program, and we'll see in our our test or demo material, enter it here, and what we see is that we have already created a basic UDI with different example data here. And in the second tab here, you are able to change your UDI data. We have entered already some example data here. I think the most interesting part is below here. For example, the packaging information, market information. We have entered some storage handling and clinical size data here. I'm leaving this screen here just to show you how it will look like in the next version. The next version is developed using 𝗲𝗏𝗃 technology. So this is the next generation UI in SAP. You have here the possibilities to enter your data using 𝗲𝗏𝗃. We have the master data, we have the different authority data here, for example, UDI or FDA, but we will show you this example using the master data. Usually you create first a new version of your data. We have done it already, so let me open our example data, which is here, this 𝗵𝗃𝗃. This is sterile gloves. And what you can see here are the header data, everything about the version and the previous version. And then you see in these different sections the standard data, what you have to maintain usually first. Yes, this is our sterile gloves. You have here the additional identifiers, for example. You have your attributes. You can enter your attributes here, yes or no, and direct marking and clinical size data and so on. For example, we have also some internal validation rules. If you enter here something which is not correct or even not complete maintained, you can click on validation. You see there's an error. Let us check what's inside here. Please enter value for the secondary issuing agency. So you can enter whether your secondary issuing agency or just leave it blank. Usually you don't need it. So let's save. Everything is fine. Let me jump out of this screen and let's start our release data. So this T-code or this application is to release or start your release workflow. You can do it in yes, for all of the selection, what you see here, selecting all or deselect all, and then you can select, for example, our data here, our demo data, start release workflow, and then it's already started. So I'm logged into as an administrator, so I have some more authorization than maybe other guys. So means I can release everything. So we have defined two departments for release. You see here we have the 𝗵𝗃𝗃 here. It's a release department 1 in this example. I can release it, and afterwards the selection will be executed again, and then you see I can already release the release department 2. So let's do it, and it's gone. So just to release department, and you can see that the number here is decreased by 1. Of course, we have here some audit traits, which is mandatory in medtech area, so the system should be able to show every changes what happened in the past. And in here you can see the workflow, so what happened in the past. I will just check here the first entry, and then you can follow what happened in the past for this material. the data submission happens in the background. We have an observation application here, submission status, where we can see what's the status. You have here some examples. For example, this one was already submitted. No issues here. Here there's an issue. We created some example issues. So this is in the test system. So we are not submitting this to the database at the moment. So that's all at the moment what I can show you. If you are interested in more detailed demo, just inform us. So we are happy to show you the full application, how it works. Okay, Ronnie, I will hand over to you so you can start your demo for your labeling system.
Thank you very much, Ismail, for this very interesting introduction to the UDI data management and transmission. We will jump in now to the label management piece. And what you can see here is one of our generated print transaction. With this transaction, we will now simulate the label, and I will explain you all the behaviors of the label management, the different features and the outputs we generate for a certain label. We have here chosen our 𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗃 material. We will print or we'll simulate the product label. I choose the pieces unit because we want to have the cheating of the pieces. And let me go into the preview mode. The preview mode, we call it, the better word would be a live simulation. It's the simulation of what kind of label would be produced when we choose that material. What we can see here is finally the PDF generation of the label within all the relevant data. In the top row, we see that every job has a unique number. We see reference information, so our product number, the batch, which is a dummy batch at the moment, and the quantity we use, as well which template it's going to be determined by the system. So it's a single pack template. We use the version 21. It will be printed on this print server, and our base language is German. On the left-hand side, which is the most important piece for sure, is the data we deliver with our print process. And if we click here, we can check which kind of data is in use on our template. And in this template, we can see that we have different informations shown, and all the green marked informations are in use on that template. So let's go a bit through this list and have a look what we can see here. First of all, we have here our dummy batch, which is printed as a text here, and as well coded in our GS1 barcode using the application identifier 10. As well, we have several formats of our expiration date we want to or we can provide for our labels. We have it in a formatted way. We have it in an internal format. We have the day, the month, and the year separately, so we can really control on the template how we want to print our information. As well, we have some information about these ISO standards, which are represented as a pictogram here, named as an ISO standard here, and including some additional information. As well, we have the manufacturing date in use, the material number we have in use here as part of our product, and a long text, for example, with product information coming from the material master, maybe also some other informations which we want to provide as a text paragraph here, which should also automatically align the text size according of its size and piece like that. If we go a bit more down, then we come to the interesting part from a UDI perspective. We will have here all the UDI information we grab from the UDI add-on from 𝘄𝗶𝗃𝗃. So they provide several information which are quite important for our label. First of all, they tell us, do we have to print a batch number? The clinical size we have to print. A device model we will have here as a reference. for sure the DI code we want to use in our UDI, but as well the legislation and other information like how we want to handle this product. Should we have it in keep dry? Do we want to have an upper and lower limit to print on the label? And as well a trade name. And you can see here we have a copyright sign and a small special piece. We want to have that in a superstrike. So we want to have here a small copyright here. So a small challenge, but that's the challenge is what happens in the labeling area. So let's have a look at how we design this label and how we bring this data we offer from SAP to the label template. We will switch now to the label designer, which is one of the 4 we support. In our live demo today, we will use Bartender as a designer. And what you can see here is that we have a certain template, which is checked in. So it is locked at the moment. I will check out that template. And this template is now open to be changed. So let's have a look on certain pieces. First of all, we have different options what we can use. We have text we can use, we can print barcodes, we can use images or pictograms. Let's start with certain texts. Let's use the trade name. And the first thing you can see here is that on any element which is called data source, we can link them to a variable field. So that's the field we provide through SAP to the template. So here we will print later on our trade name maintained in the UDI add-on from 𝘄𝗶𝗶𝗫. And there we have some special thing. We can control the font, for example, and say, okay, the trade name itself should be printed in Arial, bold, 40 point size. And we want to have this copyright sign in a different font, same size, but we want to have it superstrike. So that means we have to cut the copyright sign we get from SAP with a space, without a space, delete it to make our superstrike here. Just one of these label secrets, how we call it. Another information which could be combined is, or another example, let's say, which shows how to combine data is a barcode. In this example, this GS1 barcode for the UDI. We can see it has multiple inputs which will be ended up in one information like this barcode. So we have an application identifier 1 which shows that the DI number, UDI DI number is coming, the GTIN. Then we have the application identifier 10 which shows the batch number is then later on printed there. We have a data determinator which ends the dynamic size of a batch and so on. And for example, here the expiration date where we print as part of the GS1 standard, first the year, then the month, and then the day as 2-digit value. If we look to the use before date or expiration date, we can see this is a group of elements in the same on the template itself. It's like a group. So we have a text, we have another text for the date itself, and we have a pictogram. The funny thing, or let's say the good thing for you, is that you can control the behavior when this should be printed. So as you may remember, in the UDI add-on, we can control if for this product we have to print an expiration date. If yes, we get an X. If no, we get nothing. So we say on the template, okay, whenever the UDI add-on says to us print an expiration date, we will print this group. Otherwise, we do not print that. Other things we can do on the template is when we work with layers. So we can control different elements as layers. For example, traceability information is now on that layer. On the left-hand side, I can make it visible or invisible. And I can also control here when to print this layer, which can really make our templates more dynamic. We can create smart templates, which are controlled by the data we provide out of SAP. So the idea is to cover as many products as possible with one template using this dynamic pieces on the template, so groups or elements or pictograms or layers can be individually changed or shown or not shown. So let's have a look what happens if we change something and we want to check out how we can then later on approve that change before we print a certain change. And for our demo, I decided to make a change on the data side. And what we want to change is something on the material. And I have a classification here configured for our FG30 material, which are our sterile gloves. We have here the compliance information against certain ISO standards. And one of these standards has the possibility to say how long our gloves will be protected against chemicals and other stuffs, and we can change between type A, B, or C. Let's choose at this point of time C and say, okay, it's only for 10 minutes against or at least one chemicals protected. So this is a change, and on the material master, if I would save that, it typically would immediately apply to our label. And that's exactly what we don't want. So we want to make sure that we can control what we print, and we need to have a review up front. Let's jump back to our simulation and say, okay, let's go back and check out how our label would look like. Same template, same product, but we will have now our type C here. And we will see when we look a bit deeper to the label that we have this type C under the pictogram from this ISO standard. If we are happy with our change and say, okay, fine so far, then let's send them to review. For that, we simply print, but we do not print at the moment. We create a new version in our content and alert manager. And I did a mistake, I guess. So let me do again the same thing. We create another version and we do change our content options, which means let's add a change request, let's say 4712, and let's use a simple approval workflow. Simple approval workflow is configured, which means just one approval and then the label is released. You can configure as many steps as you want. It's just for demo. We do a simple approval. Let's use the same settings and just execute and generate our new version. Let's jump now to the content manager, which is another add-on as part of the label management. In the content manager, we have different views to our content. And content in that context means labels. And I have chosen the display view. I want to show the latest content from our UDI labels, and let's execute. And let's see what we can see now. So first of all, we see for our product, we have a product label for the unit piece. We have a packaging label for level pack, which is a 10-piece pack, and we have a carton label. So the different label types. They are, by the way, the same layout, but here we have a different one. That's the one we changed before, and we can see we have now a new minor version. Let me upload the PDF we have generated so we can see the label in the content manager as well. So this is our label we want to approve later on with type C. If we look to the content, we can also see now all the differences, not only on the visual here in the PDF preview, we can also see it on if we compare to this version 2, because I initially had this version, let's compare, yeah. So if we compare to the version 2, we see that the ISO standard has changed. The new value is C, the old value is A. So we see from a data perspective what was changed, and we see it also on the visual comparison, we can go here, we can say, let's compare those two guys. On the left-hand side, we see the new one. On the right-hand side, we see the old one. So we can also do that from like a visual inspection. If you're happy with that, we say to our regulatory department, let's approve. And an approval manager will enter here as with an approval role. And he only sees the latest open minor versions, which is just this one at the moment. And he has to say, okay, I want to approve, I want to reject, or I potentially want to forward to someone else which has to say something about that, or review it again, or I don't know, do an inspection. Many different reasons can be configured. So the approval manager sees also the label for sure, and he can also see all the differences we have seen before. So if I compare with version 2 again, as we did it before, let's do it correctly. So we can see the differences. If we are happy and say, good so far, let's print the label like that, then we simply say approve. We can enter a comment, approve it with, for example, change request 4712, and I do approve that. We see now that we have one pending approval, which will be change the status to release after our approval. We can confirm the work list. We can also approve multiple labels in the same row and confirm them as a whole list. It's not required to do that only once. Let's prove it. I have to give my signature here to get a digital signature on it. And our label is now approved. Let's switch to display, have a look again, and we will see we get now version 4 of our template. We will publish that. This is an automatic job. I do it just manually to speed up the whole process a bit. So we have now an approved and published version 4 of our label. So we have done two things. We have analyzed our content. We did a change. We approved the change on our template and or on our label. And let's print the label now. I will show that to you in two different ways of printing. One, it's a simple on-demand process based on SAP. So we use again one of our generated transaction, which is pretty configurable. We have our material here. We do have the batch number we want to print, and we give a certain quantity of clothes we want to print, so 1,000 pieces. I can click here as an operator, and SAP will offer me now, okay, if you have 1,000 pieces, these are the labels which are available. You can see here the GTINs, which we get from the UDI add-on. And we see we want to have 5 labels for the single package. Remember, we have 2 pieces, 2 pair or 1 pair on each. So it's just 500 pieces we print. And we have for the 10 pack, we have 50 to print. And for the 100 pack, we have 5 labels to print. I can choose whatever I want or change. This is up to the configuration. Let's confirm that. I can enable for the operator also the preview, or just a quick preview which shows only the PDF file. But let's go to the simulation again to see what the system determines. And now we should see the full result of a label we would print in a productive way. So when we look to the label, we can see we have type C here. We print label version number 4, which is the approved label. And we now get finally also the batch data, which is not content relevant. So it's transition data like the expiration date and the production date as well. And we can see this is in the end what we finally print. And the user cannot change anything here. So the system decides that for him. Also the packaging label we can see with the batch information. And there we have still version 1 active. So depending on the configuration, we can control what to print on different packaging level, for example. We can control that for different customers, for different products. So this is up to you how you want to manage your labels, what is the unique key, let's say, to identify your labels. Another opportunity just to show you that the label management print process can be used in different ways. One was now that I print from the SAP GUI directly, but it is also possible to use that as a Fiori app, for example. And I will also show you another opportunity using our web application. The web print client is designed to be used internal, but also can be used for externals like suppliers. And let's imagine I'm a supplier of you and I want to print your labels. Then first of all, I need to authenticate myself and say who I am. Based on my permissions, I can do more or less. I will directly jump to the latest used process I did. And as you can see, you can choose different kind of processes and you have to enter then the different inputs. This is based on what we configured in SAP. Let's use our UDI label and let's say we use the production order variant. So I have to enter a production order number. And now we get the data from SAP based on a production order. We see there is a single pack to print, 1,000 copies, multi-pack, 10 pieces, 100 times, multi-pack, 100 pieces, 10 times. Let's say we print just one, because I don't want to waste that much labels now. Say, okay. Then we go into the print mode and we can say, yes, let's make a preview before we finally print to double check if everything gets well. And we see on the right-hand side then again the label. And the label is generated based off the SAP information, is using the latest approved version of our label, is using the batch from the production order and produced and expiration date is also coming from the batch. We can also show the packaging label, and if you're happy, we can print the labels. And because I'm a supplier, I can also choose that I want to print on the local label, on the local printer, which is installed on my PC. So this is a funny thing for all the IT guys which don't want to integrate the different suppliers in their corporate network, so we can really also print through the browser on a local printer. Yeah, so let's print, and in the end, that's it what I want to show to you. Switch back to our webinar. This was our live demonstration. I hope that we can show to you, or we have shown to you, all the necessary steps you have to go through to print finally UDI label. We have maintained the data in the UDI add-on. We have hand over that to the government. We have approved the data there. We have created a label. We created a new version of the label. We approved the new version. And finally, we print the version with different approaches. So next question is how to set up the project, and Ismail will now tell you a bit more about the project structure and the templates we can provide to you. Ismail, please take over.
So let me tell you something how we start such a project. So for the project implementation, we have a standard project plan that starts usually with a proof of a concept at the beginning, and then we writing the specification. We have already created some specification, and here I can talk for our both companies. We have the same procedure here. So specifications usually are already there, they exist, and we don't need to generate new specification except when you say, okay, you need some changes in the application. Of course, we have to adjust then the specification here. The next step is the installation or implementation. So the technical implementation is usually a standard SAP installation. That's not a problem. And afterwards, we start into validation. For the validation, of course, we have validation templates created for our both applications. So Also here we are very fast in the implementation process, and then afterwards cut over and go live, and then the operational rollout to the production system. Here I can OPAL company has already created a white paper for the validation, CSV, computer system validation. If you want, you can just go over the website from OPAL and download for free this validation white paper. We have created in a cooperation also another white paper which is focusing more on the UDI MDR compliance. The content of this white paper is regarding UDI data, master UDI, labeling, and all these topics, which is very interesting, and we have created 42 pages of full knowledge. So please check out our website, OPAL or Europe IT Consulting, and there you can download this white paper. Thank you very much for your participation. I'm really happy that we have so many people in the webinar. If you have any question, don't hesitate to contact us via mail or phone. We are happy to help you.
Also from my side, I want to thank you very much for the participation. It was a pleasure for me to give you all these insights. If there is any further question around labeling, let us know, contact us. We also are able to provide you much more details about this on different UDI topics. And as well, we are open for giving you new and much deeper insights in another live demonstration. So thank you again. Have a good day. Keep healthy and enjoy your rest of the day. Thank you.